Wherever you are, welcome to another of my takes on China. And when I'm asked what I think of Joe Biden granting a pardon to his son Hunter for offences Joe Biden himself has spoken openly about as deserving of prison, I don't really have much to say, so this is a short one. On the same day that I see criticism of China because a senior military official has been removed from his post and is under investigation, I think there are two things that are completely incompatible as it gets. China has a rule of law. If you break it, you get punished, or you should. USA has a rules-based order under which the powerful get more powerful and the weaker get more downtrodden by this system. The truth is, Biden is now a lame duck. That's not my opinion. That's the wording that the US uses to describe a president who has been defeated at the polls and who has a couple of months left to milk the system, enrich his cronies, create havoc for the incoming president, and generally make sure that the world is left in a worse state of affairs by ramping up everything that he's done wrong over the preceding 46 months. That's what's happening. There's ample evidence that a transition of power, which under any form of democracy is vitally important. If the president wanted the best for his country, this is the time to invite his opponent in, talk about what can be done and how the system can be set up to reverse the rot. The truth is, this president and the one before him, who happens to be the same one coming next, have proven time and time again that they care nothing for the good of the American people, or even the world for that matter. They care only about their own power bases, and in this, Biden is no better and no worse than Trump. Trump himself pardoned many people, about 150, including a white slave trafficker, several drug traffickers, an arsonist, some murderers, as well as a few violent criminals. And I'm not kidding. You can look it up. I've provided the link. More than 122 of them were pardoned in the lame duck period, and one of them was Charles Kushner, his daughter's father-in-law. Nepotism isn't new in the USA, and of course neither is abuse of the law. There are some allegations, not proven in a court of course, but certainly enough to raise eyebrows, that Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump were charging $2 million for pardons. Is that true? I don't know. The evidence came from a Giuliani staffer who was suing him for all kinds of nasty things, so it might not be true, but there's certainly some smoke, and this is a particularly big fire. I very much doubt that Hunter Biden paid his dad for a pardon, but there's no doubt he could afford to. According to some websites, he's worth $330 million. According to others, he's worth $10 million, and there are many websites with numbers in between. Either way, it's obvious again that being the president's son isn't a bad job. It's pretty well paid. Biden Jr. was due to be sentenced in a few days, so the timing was perfect. But the announcement that this was done by Biden because Hunter was a victim of a political campaign and harassment holds absolutely no water whatsoever. Hunter Biden is a recovering addict. He's admitted his guilt, and the fact that he's the son of a sitting president doesn't make that guilt go away. It's possible he was pursued, harassed, or even charged and convicted, but he pled guilty in September, and that doesn't mean he's any less guilty than the son of a welder or a banker. He's guilty, political enemy or not. There's nothing more than nepotism, elitism, and favoritism here. He wasn't convicted of his crimes because he's the son of a president. He's getting away with them because he's the son of a president. While the political consequences of a pardon might create a problem for some politicians, that won't bother Joe Biden one little bit. Gerald Ford lost an election, and many analysts believe that was because he pardoned Nixon, and that cost him the top job. We'll never know if that's true, but it is likely. But Joe Biden's done. He's a lame duck in more than one sense. He's going to be useless on the political after-dinner speaking market. He'll be useless as a lobbyist, and he's not going to help any future Democrat with his endorsement. He's simply going to fade away into the retired life that he so richly needs. So the consequences of his breaking his word mean nothing, if they ever did. And remember, just a few weeks ago he said, "I will not interfere in this process." The bottom line is, no matter how angry people get, especially the victims of criminals that have somehow managed to wheedle a pardon out of a lame duck president, there are no consequences. No one will care. Biden, if he knows anything at all, will know this was wrong. Every person who voted for him should know that this was wrong. But in the end, it makes no difference to the electoral process and simply produces another miscarriage of justice, further confirming to the American people, particularly the 3% of all US citizens who have served or are serving in prison for similar offenses, that the system works for the elites. So many people are thinking this is great, it sets a precedent and now Trump can pardon himself, but he can't. The president can only pardon offenses committed under federal law, and his problems, Trump's problems, are in New York State, so he can't pardon himself. But it would be a brave judge who sentences a sitting president, or even a president-elect, to prison. And I think for that to happen, Trump needs to be impeached. And that's nothing new. He's already been impeached twice. Now, I don't know enough about US laws to understand how this is possible, and I won't pretend that I do. I doubt many people do know enough, but to me, the entire system is skewed in favor of the elites, and the Biden family and the Trump family both qualify as elites, whether we agree with that or not. And the bottom line is this: it's not unexpected. No one will be surprised. It simply proves that the gap between a rules-based order, which the US and their Western allies love so much, and a system of rule by law which exists strongly in most other countries, is very wide indeed. Thanks once again for watching my take on China, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.